Hi everyone, this is Darrell Lonnie with head football coach Ferguson. Today we review, first of all, the Central Washington game. I thought a very difficult game for your team to play in, not only from the standpoint that they're awfully good, which you mentioned a week ago, Coach, but the weather conditions were really hurt your team, I thought.
Yeah, when it all came down to, it really favored, first of all, their D-line, which is big and physical, and their O-line is really big, even though our D-line is fairly good size, but there's some guys that are 320, so it kind of favored them a little bit. They hit some quick trap stuff to get some things going, and one pass to Spivak, and then really the weather dictated the rest of it. Give Central their credit, they handled the weather better, their quarterback threw the ball better in the weather, and then we were in that fourth quarter where we had the weather our way and just didn't take us too long to capitalize and really get some things going like we'd like. We had a couple drop passes that really would have opened some things up for us. We knew it would be a fairly low scoring game. Really in that third quarter, basically the ball was on our 20-25 for pretty much the whole quarter, and ended up scoring on that. So that's really the nutshell of things. We're able to use our speed at receiver, our quickness at corner, just because the weather controlled things too much.
They say defense can win games, certainly in the playoffs, where games get a little bit more close to the vest and so forth. As good as they are in defense, that's got to be a real advantage for them.
Yeah, no, Joe Lord is a former Western Oregon player and also coached here, does an extremely good job, along with Stacy Collins. Both those guys are on defense and really get those guys playing well, but also very talented. Probably the most talented defense that I've seen in the last 20 years being at Western Oregon.
Lots of defensive linemen. Germany, the big defensive end. Linebackers who can run, namely Prince Hall. Boy, they've got players everywhere.
Yeah, and they have a real good safety too that controls some things, Williams. So they're very coached extremely well, but also very good, sound, experienced players. But you know, with the weather conditions and the footing, honestly, between the hashes, except for the middle of the field, it was about 3-4 inches of mud. So that kind of hurt us a little bit, getting to the edge like we'd like to.
Aaron, reflect on the season. Yeah, you wind up going 5-5, as it turns out, and finished second in the league.
Yeah. First of all, this is the toughest schedule that we've had since I've been at Western Oregon. So you got to take that into consideration. The second thing is we played twice, the third, and Central will be #1 in the nation. They're the only undefeated team in Division II right now. So we haven't ever played that caliber of team, even though in the past Central had some good teams, but not as this caliber. And obviously at Quest Field, definitely felt we had opportunities to win that game and didn't. So I really think from an inside point of view, things are going in the right direction with our players, but the competition is getting fiercer throughout the GNAC, and people got to understand that, and definitely we do.
Now you have spring football coming up, and it's always important, obviously. Maybe even more important this year in that you need offensive linemen. You've got people beat up this year. You've got people graduating, etc. You lose a couple of really good receivers. You need to find a new quarterback. So a lot of things to look at and examine now for you.
Yeah, in order, the things with spring ball and really our morning conditioning and also throughout the winter, our lifting is really going to be to solidify this team on doing the small things consistently. We definitely think they're very capable. We think we have some people that can jump into those spots, but they have to prove it, and they got to do it on a consistent basis. Quarterback is #1 concern. We feel we have 2 real good quarterbacks that have experience in our program for 2 or 3 years, even 4, AJ. But now it's going to be their time to shine, and for us to really evaluate where they're at. O-line wise, we feel really good about 3 or 4 redshirt freshmen. They can come in and contribute. I don't know if they can start yet or not. They'll have to prove that, but to see what they can do. And then our secondary really will be the next issue. You know, mainly at corner, to see who can step up and replace those 3 senior corners with a lot of experience. And so those are the 3 main things we'll be focused on. There's some other areas we need to improve on, obviously, but we definitely feel there's guys in our program that when we see how hard they work and how much, or how motivated they are to, because if they're motivated at the level we expect, they'll be right in the mix, and this group will continue where the last couple of years have left off and move forward.
You know, plaudits to your team, and I know you feel good about this. I think it was 9 different guys voted to the all-conference academic team, so things are going along very positively in that area.
Yeah, and academically, we have very good players that work hard, and some players that really excel in extremely tough disciplines, especially our sciences, which is extremely good here at Western. Also, we had 7 players on first team All-League, which was second in our conference. Obviously, Central had more, and deservedly so. And then we have quite a few on second team also. So we're excited about the recognition within our conference, academically and athletically, and we need to get more people on both those things.
Next up, and we'll close with this, is recruiting. You guys work all year at recruiting, obviously, and you're organizing now as we speak. And then get out December 1st, I think it is, and make visits and so forth. What are the needs? What does the state look like, et cetera, Coach?
The first thing we're always going to do is we don't recruit position by position throughout. We want the top 30 kids in Oregon. You know, and sometimes, for example, last year, a real good O&D line class. We hope that will be the same this year. The verdict's still out. We're still waiting to see on that. As we see kids in playoffs, we see them in person, we'll really have a good feel of where they're at and what schools they're looking at. And obviously, we feel that Western will be the only Division II school in the state, and with the academics and the tuition promise, has tremendous things to offer. And obviously, with new facilities, with the rec center, locker room, equipment, training, I mean, the things are really nice that we have in place here as we start in the next year's season. But recruiting outside of state, we'll look a little bit outside of state and really look for needs that we just can't find in Oregon. So we're in the process of really finding out what's in Oregon and the recruitability. We definitely like what we see so far, but we'll see on signing day.
How many people go, let me ask you this, does everybody on the staff get involved in recruiting?
Yes.
How many people go out actually recruiting and seeing players?
Yeah, all of our staff, obviously our full-time coaches are the main ones out, but they're broken up also with our part-time coaches and go out also. And we really touch each school in the state, definitely by phone call, but also in person, and have also did that this spring and May. So our spring will be in April, then we'll also recruit in May also. But we have a good list of where things are at right now. But we really want to get the recruits in here and really be around our players and to make sure this is a good fit both academically and athletically.
Forgot to bring up Simon Frazier into the league next year. Your league changes a little bit.
Yeah, adding another team is really nice. It's really replacing what Western Washington did as far as them dropping. So that'll put us back to where we were. There's still some thoughts about a school in Arizona coming. There's thoughts about Azusa Pacific coming in, so we're waiting to see on that and hoping that works. But that's basically where our league's at this time. So I'm just glad to have another team in and hopefully get another one in the next couple of years.
So 8 league games, at least for now, and you want to play 11 next year, right? And so schedule 3 more?
Yeah, we always want to play 11 if we can. So we're working on that. John Carey, our athletic director, is working on that. And we have some preliminaries, but we won't announce that until more into January when everything's finalized throughout the league.
Okay. We'll check in with the coach a little bit later on, see how recruiting is doing. Head football coach here at Western Oregon, Ferguson.